we don't know. We just Moonspell is a very um, spontaneous band. I think we were never. That takes us to a lot of explanations, but I think we were never smart enough or happy enough with a formula and stick to it. Or we want to have our signature sound, but we don't want to be, or we can't be just closed within certain boundaries. And it's sometimes we think about it. Oh, we're gonna piss off the fans. We're gonna lose our jobs, but it's stronger than us. So that's the way we do music. There's many other ways of doing music, and I respect them all, obviously. But yeah, sometimes Moonspell is a band that needs a little bit more time. And I think for this album, it really works because Hermitage, place of silence, place of meditation, place you go. You cannot have a very commercial, massive album. I think you have to have a moody album. And I think that's quite a fortunate coincidence.
It's your Pink Floyd moment, I could say.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. That comes with age as well. Obviously, we love Pink Floyd. We never had probably the guts of doing something a little bit more psychedelic or progressive, but we kind of were listening to it. I even went to my uncle's house and they had this leather bag that I really like. Can I have this leather bag? And say, yeah, you can. And inside the leather bag was Black Sabbath, Sabotage, Deep Purple, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and all the discography, not all, but at least 12 records of Pink Floyd, from A Piper at the Gates of Dawn to Umaguma, Relics. So I was listening to it all on vinyl, and for sure, I think that influences me. But I think the guy that is mostly influenced by David Gilmour is Ricardo. He always, since I remember Ricardo playing, even though he likes the virtuosos of metal, he always told us that his favorite guitar players are the ones that create atmospheres and not the shredders. I would say, even in that aspect, I mean, when you listen to a metal record, you want to listen to a great guitar player, like shredding and soloing. But that's not what you're going to find in the Hermitage too. It's a much more of a kind of different sound. Yeah.
And I could say that in All or Nothing, I can hear some Fields of the Nephilim vibes from Dawn Razor, for example. The riffs somehow resemble, I could say.
Yeah, I don't think that music in those in certain boxes were never a Moonspell thing. And even though you can even find Maiden and Judas Priest here and there, or Hermit Saints, etc., the metal riffing, I always knew that since even the beginning, Moonspell was quite the open-minded band, that we were listening to different stuff, because I love metal, but sometimes I hate it too, because sometimes I think bands could do a little bit better or a little bit more different, and they don't do it because it's like a business. The fans want that, so let's give it to them. So my favorite kinds of metal this day is the post-metal bands like Crippled Black Phoenix, Geria. I love, for instance, what Rotting Christ is doing since Theogonia, because I think they were lost in this German kind of gothic stuff. They weren't bad, the albums. I think they found their true signature sound and their true essences. And as a band, besides the friendship I have for Sakis, it's a band that whenever there's something out, I'm going immediately to buy it with closed eyes. I don't ask for free. I'm going to buy it because Sakis needs to feed his family.
To feed his family.
Yes, and I still can afford the records for the time, or we trade. And obviously, if you see an album like Hermitage, we kind of take some notes from the bands that we're listening to. And for instance, the other day, we were signing autographs. I mean, it's hard because of the confinement. We had to wear a mask and, all the fucking shitty stuff from people that, you saw the balls every time on tour. And now you have to wear a mask and, shake them like this. It's very strange. But Pedro he always likes to play music. And sometimes even on tour, I wake up in the morning, oh man, I don't feel like to listen to music, and it's already blasting. And 9 out of 10 times, it's Fields of the Nephilim. So it's impossible for us not to be. It's a great band. We love it, obviously.
Okay.
And it's impossible for us not to be influenced by those moods because we listen to it so many times as well.
Having done a DJ set together more than 10 years ago, I don't know if you remember the duet you had with the late Andre Matos for the song Lisbon.
Oh, you were there? Yeah. Crazy night.
I was one who organized it.
Oh, right.
And I can assure people that the musical taste you have is very broad and very wide because we had been discussing about music, and this is obvious also from the bonus track of the album, which is a Candlemass cover, Darkness in Paradise.
Yes.
Once again, you have a bonus track which is, I can say, different from what we would expect normally from a band like Moonspell.
I think that's kind of good. I never know. Sometimes people tell me, oh, hey, you surprise me, but they have this sad face, and I don't know if it's a good thing. For me, when I'm surprised, normally it's positive. When I listen to an album that kind of switched my mind and it wasn't kind of expected. So I think these days people love to be right. And sometimes you say, oh, Moonspell is going to do a Fields of Nephilim cover or a Pink Floyd cover. And then we do Candlemass. And everybody's like, oh, I couldn't guess this. But I think when I thought about Hermitage, one of the bands that popped more into my mind, and it has a lot of influences, I think, on the album, because I know Candlemass really well since Epicos. I got Epicos in 1987 or 1989. I don't remember, but it was one of the albums. I still get the old version, which is totally destroyed because I listened to it so many times, and I get the new version. Yeah. But when Messiah Marcolin got into the band, is my favorite Candlemass singer ever. And he just brought something that it kind of has to do with the universe of our own album. The monks, the crosses, the deserts, the landscapes, the crucifixes. So I believe in some way there's this secret link between Hermitage and Candlemass. And I found this song from Ancient Dreams so beautiful, like a hidden jewel. And I think it means so much on today's time. It's like our world could be a really cool thing. That's what we say about in the album, that we are failing, that we're not taking the right options. And what better title than Darkness in Paradise, which I think that's what we live in. Greece is beautiful. I've been there many times. I've been in the islands. I've been a little bit everywhere, Creta, etc. But it's so beautiful that you cannot go anywhere. This is Darkness in Paradise. And normally I pick up the covers. I don't know, the other guys can tell me to pick up the covers. I know I surprise my own band, like why Candlemass? But for me, it makes a lot of sense, because of the style of the album, the aesthetics of the album, and because it's just an amazing song. All that album, Ancient Dreams, it's amazing. And we got a really good compliment from Live Idling, the only remaining founding member. He was very surprised that we picked up Candlemass because he said, oh, it's such a cool band, Moonspell. I know them for so many years. I didn't know they were fans. People don't know a lot about this. Maybe we should show our faces more in the social networking. But we do. We do the playlists. We do everything. So people probably are not paying attention. But I think for me, actually, it was one of the first decisions. We didn't have the album fully written. I said, we're going to have whatever, a bonus song. That's already business and labels, and you have to have bonus because people now want
special
bonus
editions and everything. Okay.
Yeah,
that's what people want. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you do it, just do it classy. And I think it's a very classy cover versions. I really love it. And so far we've been doing cover versions that people couldn't guess, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. I still remember Mr. Crowley, the reactions to that. And what a great cover, to tell you the truth.
And we did it first in Cradle of Filth, I think. I already discussed that with Danny, but it's very different. But you see, we didn't cover. Yeah, it's just unexpected. I like to. I have a list of covers that we will do from many bands. For instance, Ghost. They did a cover that I wanted to do as well on their cover album. They did "Nocturnal Me" from Echo and the Bunnymen. It's a really great song, and we could do a really cool version. But now I'm not doing it, But it was on my list.
Okay. Yeah. Erase it. So in the beginning of the pandemic, you sounded too pessimistic in some statements and social media and stuff, almost negative towards towards the idea of releasing new music. What happened and you changed your mind?
I think I haven't changed my mind. It's just I'm being. Some people, it can strike them as negative, but I like to be honest. I'm too old for the bullshit talk of musicians saying this is our best album and we are great. No, we are just lucky. We are just privileged that we can make this kind of music. Moonspell, it's very lucky because we could record an album in the pandemics in the UK. So I think sometimes people just make themselves bigger than what they really are. And I think that nowadays to say that, I'm actually being humble. I don't mean it as a negative way, but I mean it's some people and some musicians, they take their own lives. They live a self-destructive lifestyle because they have too big of an expectation. When I do music, I have no idea what people will say, and I have the notion that it's not in my hands anymore, and that's what I want to say, and I'm honest about it. It's sometimes I'm really into it, and some guy online say, "Oh, this is shit. You're saying like shit." And even though it doesn't affect me to the point that I'm going to, do something radical or tragic, it's a daily grind, that you have it, especially on the social networking. So sharing, releasing, editing music, it's a kind of a necessary evil for me because then nowadays you go and it's like sometimes it's not just people like it or not. Some people say I like Moonspell, and the other guy says I don't like Moonspell, and this guy is not telling anything, just goes. But this guy is going to tell the guy that likes Moonspell, why do you like them? They suck, and that's the dynamics of the world today. And I have to protect myself against it. And the only protection I feel is to be honest about it. Nowadays, it's very hard to be a musician. It's very hard to do something different. It's very hard to have a signature sound. It's not easy. People are very critical about everything, not only about music. It's not a fragmented world. It's a pulverized world. And I rather think about it, rather be honest about it without camouflaging the paint of an artist, let's call it this way, because sometimes you just get, you interview bands and they will all say something like, yeah, this is our best album. Yeah, it's made for the fans. And sometimes it's just, talk. And if I'm here spending hours with people talking about the album, I don't want to sell them a car. I don't want to sell them even an album. I want to speak about what I feel. I think that's more interesting for everyone. And sometimes, I'm negative and pessimistic, but I think in the end of the day, I'm more honest. It's not like I'm going to, in the 26th of February, I can't as well, but I'm not going to make a party because we're going to release another album. No, we'll be too busy doing something. And that's the reality of an artist. And I think more people should come up and say to the fans, hey, this is not a bed of roses to us too. So let's be more together. Let's be friends and let's not fight about it. If you don't like the music, man, no problem. There's many music I don't like. But I don't bother people. I don't go there and say, hey, why don't you change this? Why don't you make a seventh son of a seventh son again? I think we should quit this talk. It's very destructive for bands. And believe me, people, sometimes musicians, they are not resolved in the head. They go destructive because of this. It's like, the guy that killed John Lennon, Mark Chapman. We all have a Mark Chapman inside us. Sometimes they tell you so many times that you are bad that you start believing people. And if you think, well, I'm nothing special, I'm just lucky, and sometimes I hit, sometimes I miss, it's a much better way of being into the world. But I have to say, everybody's like, I only met one band like this, I think, Typo Negative. They had the humor about it. They were amazing. I thought they were gods. And they said, no, we are shit. Sometimes we asked Josh, are you Portuguese? No, I wish I was Portuguese. This kind of humor, it's important for your mind. And you cannot possibly think that music is everything in your life. It's very important. It defines me, but there's other stuff as well.
Yeah. For example, take care of your kid and take care of your house. I mean, people live in a bubble that listen to music and think that musicians are only sex, drugs, and rock and roll. They can believe that they have a normal life like everybody else, and they still have to take care of their family, of their house, and still be able to create new music that will appeal to the crowds.
But that's boring for people. I have to say something. Since 2012 that I'm a father, and being a musician and a father, it's being absent. Sometimes you are 6 months on the road, you call, it's not the same. So whenever I'm at home, I try to be really good and really there. But I have to do my stuff as well. But since Fausto is the name of my kid was born, I think, I don't know if I achieve it, but at least I try very hard for Moonspell to have the best shows ever, that I perform the best of my capacities, that I make the best music, whatever, the more qualitative music possible, because I have to compensate the time that I spend on this. Because if it's just to play the rock star or, do music to please people and sing about Superman and pirates and whatever, I wouldn't be a musician, honestly. Moonspell is really important for me, but especially as a mean of self-expression. We have many things. I have gold records over there, not hanged on the wall, because I didn't have the time or the patience. I have trophies. I have, stuff like that. But when people ask me, what is your biggest achievements? It's sometimes some of the songs, some of the lyrics I wrote, like Mephisto, Future is Dark, The Greater Good, Without Rule. When I feel most happy about Moonspell and fulfilled is when I write something and I can sing it in a proper way. And then it's not up to me, but I owe this to my family, to my kids, and to my fans to do the best we can while we can, and not to be here wasting anybody's time, and especially not wasting the time with my kid.
People who do not have kids cannot understand it, I'm afraid. But anyway, when you say that, people should start thinking in another way. So in the press release, you say that it's an atmosphere that Moonspell is heading towards its end. I mean, it's always saying that you keep on mentioning that you are entering the final years of your career. You don't mention how many these years would be. Maybe the final 20 years of your career.
Well, I wouldn't say 20.
Yeah, but it's an atmosphere that you feel that this whole thing is coming to an end. Don't know when it will end, but it's ending slowly.
I think so. We're going to be 30 years.
It's part of the honesty that you mentioned before.
Everything has an end. There's many reasons why I say that, and I don't want people to misunderstand it, but they will. It's not for buying our records. It's not for marketing. It's a feeling I have, and I wanted that to be expressed to people, and it kind of follows up, the previous answer. Moonspell is going to be 30 years. In 2022, in a really strange world where we probably cannot even celebrate the fact that we arrive here. Moonspell is not what it was in the beginning, like a dream of 5, 6 young wolves, that wanted to make a band in Portugal so that we could have the Portuguese Rotten Christ or the Portuguese Dark Throne or the Portuguese, just a black metal, dark metal band. Also, with the split of Mike, who was my really big friend in the band, and we couldn't solve the problems between Mike and Moonspell. That's why we also haven't gone to Greece. We were in the bad stage. He eventually split up with us, and my notion of family about Moonspell kind of disappeared with it. I think we are friends. I think we are brothers. I think our ties run deep, but it's not like being in a family. And I have a really crazy, not very big, but very intensive Portuguese family, probably like loud, love, hate, dinner parties, wine, stuff like that. So I kind of know what is a family, so I kind of have the property to speak about it. Also, we are not an established band. We're not Judas Priest. We're not Metallica. We're not even Amon Amarth. So we kind of don't have this kind of fame and power, but we don't have the strings attached as well. So, and all of these of Moonspell is for me quite a big surprise, and it always will be. Yesterday I was speaking with a North American journalist in New York City, and he was telling me, Wolfhard, we were speaking about Wolfhard. I went to the record shop in the suburbs of New York, and I picked up your album. For me, that's unbelievable. I'm from Portugal, thinking about someone in New York, to go and find our album. So all these things put together, I think that right now it will be our last chapter of the book. I don't know if it's going to have 20 pages, 100 pages, but it has to be the best, because we respect everything we did. We're proud of some stuff. Other stuff, I think we could have done better. Be more prepared. But hey, that's just life. Sometimes when you go in studio, like when Hermitage, it was so important to because I think Hermitage kind of saved and kind of extended the future of Moonspell, because this will have been a great year to say, guys, I'm really tired. This has been great, but I don't want to do this anymore. And I mean, for sure, I'll lose my job and I will lose whatever, but I can gain something as well. Peace of mind, be more time with my family, maybe write, but the fact that we had new music and new ideas, it was very important to keep Moonspell going. But I have no illusions that this is temporary, and I think it's quite healthy for me. I don't, for instance, our bass player Iris, he wants to die on stage. I say, oh man, I try to respect that, but I don't want to die on stage. Well, maybe it can happen. You never know. The future is uncertain, but I don't want that. It's you have to know when to leave and properly, and to know when to leave, you have to think about it. I know musicians hate to speak about these things, but I don't have a problem with that. I think when people say about the mental sanity of musicians, I think most of it comes from the expectations they have. The posterity, the immortality, and music. I'm sorry, this is not the 70s anymore. Sometimes it's hard and ugly. Sometimes it's beautiful and good. And you have to embrace both sides if you are in the band. So I have no problems in saying that. One of these days I will probably not feel, inspired or comfortable or motivated to do Moonspell. Each year that passes, it's a little bit more harder. Yeah, we're getting older. We have, we are cranky. We are all in the midlife crisis. Our hair is falling. So it's not a nice time. The only thing you can do is to compensate with your sound and your music and your ideas, which is exactly what we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. And so the thing that changed the whole set in Moonspell in the last few years has been your drummer leaving the band, and perhaps this was the reason why you didn't come to Greece for the show.
I mean, we kind of said personal problems, but yeah, after the Rotten Christ tour, and I think Sakis and Tamis and the rest of the band can attest to it. There was many problems within Moonspell, and I mean, it's not Mike's fault, it's not my fault, it's not anyone's fault. it's everybody's fault. We couldn't solve this. Obviously, I wanted to do this on a friendly terms, but Mike had a lawyer, so we cannot speak about the reasons that that we, unfortunately, because I like to be honest about it. But yeah, I have to say it kind of broke my heart and it kind of shattered my illusions of being in the event. So right now, I'm waiting and seeing. I'm really happy we did Hermitage, and I'm really happy that Pedro and Ricardo, they come a little bit more open, you know, and they are giving more to the music and to the compositions. We had a big talk about it. But yeah, I think I mean when I say in all or nothing, the end is near, the signs are here, or the signs are here, the end is near. It's not about the world, it's about Moonspell, you know. And I think that if people know me very well, they know it's not about being tired or unsatisfied, etc. I'm Portuguese, I'm always tired and always unhappy with everything, so that's the way I am. But yeah, I think that I feel that Wolf Art was the spring, and maybe Irreligious was the summer. We lived very fast from 95 to 98, and then after 98 we kind of knew the hardships of being in the band as well, with all the criticism and the cynicism about sin or Butterfly Effect. Nowadays I print Butterfly Effect or sin and it's sold out and people say it's beautiful, you know.
And
So
you re-released it.
yeah, because they were sold out and out of print. And nowadays, everybody, oh, this is so great, and thanks for doing this. You know, we're all crazy in here. It's like a Pink Floyd song, you know. And yeah, we have to do the best about it, because making music and listening to music, it's not such a peaceful process. It used to be. When I listened to Fields of the Nephilim, I didn't even wanted to meet McCoy, because, you know, he's my idol, and I don't wanted him to be shorter than me, you know, and he is. But yeah, it's like this spirit is dead. Now people want more and more and more information about you. They want more, they want bonuses. I love to do the Candlemass cover, but one side of me say, aren't there the 10 songs of Moonspell enough? You know, why do we need bonus? Why do I need, I just did me unboxing a record. You know, I say, well, okay, I understand to people. It's a novelty, it's a curiosity. I thought music was a bit deeper than that, and it kind of disappoint me. Yeah, I cannot say otherwise, you know. But I'm still here, so enjoy it while it lasts.
So we don't have any more time left. I have another a whole sheet of questions more to do, but I think we've covered most of the things that people would like to hear. And normally, ending the interview would be kind of, what are your plans for the future, which is something to laugh at. You know, organizing shows for a few years and doing 2 or 3 with you. It has been a nightmare, a disaster for promoters, for musicians, for the lighters, for the sound engineers, for everyone.
It's even sometimes I feel even a bit rude to speak about the future. I wrote a song about it, calling "The Future is Dark," and I think it's really. But you know, for Moonspell not to fall off the radar of the fans, because people can forget about us. They're concerned about, you know, other stuff. And also for my own band, because musicians can, you know, sit on the couch and disappear into the couch when they don't have goals. So last year, 2020, we played four shows, and we really enjoyed every moment of it, because it was so special to play with a crowd. And I know many people, they haven't done this. And in Portugal, there was a big movement to get, you know, the safe culture and safe shows, and we could do that. So we do have some plans, but nowadays it's not plan A and plan B, it's plan A to plan Z. Yeah. So I don't know what to answer to that. You know, I think the plan is to stay sane and healthy, and be like a hermit saint, and have a lot of patience. The future is patience, I would say.
Yeah. So thank you very much for this conversation.
No problem. And my regards to everyone in Greece. We'll be back with more style, I hope. And yeah, just stay safe, health and luck, and go and take care of your kid, because it probably is not in school anymore, like mine. I have to go and do the same. Yeah, just,
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank
control.
you. Wish you a great day. Stay
Okay, thanks,
safe,
my friend.
as you said. Bye bye. Thank
I
you,
will.
Fernando.
Bye-bye. Bye.